Hola, bienvenidos estudiantes, ¿cómo andan?
Hola.
Hola, maestro.
Hola. Hoy vamos a hablar de algo muy interesante. Vamos a hablar de nuestra familia. Ahorita te quiero preguntar, ¿quiénes son los miembros de tu familia y cómo se llaman? A ver, dime a Emma.
Hola. Me, en mis familia tengo cuatro personas.
Ujú.
Mi padre te amo Scott y mi madre te amo Allison.
Qué bien, qué bien. ¿Y tienes hermanos o hermanas?
Y un hermano te amo Benjamin.
Qué bien, qué bien. Ysela, dime de tu familia.
Mi familia, 5 personas.
Hay 5 personas, qué bien. Es una
Ujú.
familia muy grande. ¿Y tienes hermanos o hermanas?
2 hermanos.
2 hermanos.
Ujú.
Ok. ¿Y tienes un madre o un padre?
Mi madre te llamo Yadira y mi padre te llamo Rosendo.
Tu madre es Idira y tu padre es, ¿cómo?
Rosendo.
Rosendo. Qué
Ujú.
bien, qué bien. Ok, pues ahorita vamos a aprender un poco más de la familia con una historia que se llama El libro de la familia. Vamos a ver ese video y luego ya cuando acabamos de eso vamos a hablar poquito más de la familia. Ok, pues ya acabamos de ver el video del el libro de la familia. Y en este video aprendimos mucho de diferentes familias. Aprendimos que hay unas familias que tienen 2 mamás o 2 papás. Aprendimos que hay unas familias donde nomás hay un padre. Y eso es que pasa unas veces en las familias. Pero de todos modos, hay diferentes tipos de gente que hay en tu familia. Como hay tu madre y tu padre, hay tu hermano y tu hermana, hay tu tía y tu tío, tenemos el abuela y el abuelo, y también en unas familias, pero no todos, tenemos el bisabuela y el bisabuelo. Esos son más o menos los que necesitas para el proyecto que vamos a hacer. En el proyecto vamos a hacer un árbol genealógico. Se ve más o menos así. Vas a poner ¿cómo lo digo? Tu abuelo, tus abuelas, tus tías, tus tíos, tu hermana, tus hermanos y tus papás y tus mamás. Y más o menos se va a ver como esto aquí. ¿Dónde lo tengo? Aquí. No sé si lo puedes saber, pero ahí está. Aquí tengo mi bisabuelo Benigno Álvarez. Aquí tengo mi abuela, se llama Artemia López. Aquí tengo mi abuelo Lorenzo López. Aquí tengo mi mamá Rita Huerta. Y aquí tengo mi papá Juan Huerta. Y luego aquí está mi hermano Giovanni, Juan Andrés Huerta, Jaylin y Jocelyn. Y aquí estoy yo. Vas a hacer el mismo en tu proyecto. Te voy a dar 5 minutos para que puedas hacer un dibujo muy rápido. No importa si está bonito, nomás enséñame qué tienes. Puedes empezar. ¿Ya los tienes?
Sí.
Mm. Hola, me llamo Ysela. En mi familia yo tengo mi abuela y mi abuelo. Luego tengo mi mamá Yadira y mi papá Rosendo. Ellas tienen 3 hijos, mi hermano Rosendo, mi hermano Roman y yo.
Qué bien, tienes una familia muy bonito. Ya. Y luego,
Gracias.
En mi familia yo tengo también mi abuela y mi abuelo. Ah, tengo mi mamá Allison y mi papá Scott. Y tengo un hermano Ben.
Qué bien, tienes una familia chiquito como le enseñaron en el libro. Pues con eso ya acabamos todo que tenía planeado para hoy. So,
Um, okay, so now we're going to begin our discussion for our lesson. We wanted to do a direct approach, as you can tell from the video. And I personally believe it's one of the more effective ways of teaching a second language, even if a student doesn't understand all of the vocabulary. If in an engaging lesson like this, they will be able to pick up the gist, the kind of point of the lesson, regardless of if they're getting every single word or not.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say that also, like what you were saying, that students can kind of make those inferences when it's just like primarily speaking one language. Because I don't speak Spanish very well, and I felt like I was able to make some inferences on some of the words as well.
Yeah, me as well.
and when you're just speaking completely in Spanish, it just kind of enforces the idea that this is where you gotta learn, and if you'll pick up certain things, but if we do everything in English, or if we show certain parts in English, then it will be a little bit challenging, because the student won't have the opportunity to pick up on certain words that they might have heard. Along with that, we also used, or at least I did when I was doing the teaching, was I attempted to use a lot of implicit corrections, just so that I wouldn't ruin the flow of the students doing their work. I did a little bit of explicit, but for the most part, it was just implicit.
Yeah, I think that definitely, I really liked how you said didn't interrupt the flow. Because I feel like if you're just speaking, if you're having a conversation, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, no, incorrect, you have to pause, you have to stop, it kind of derails. And maybe it can make a student nervous or like throw them off if they mess up, which, we talked a lot about in the last unit, like making sure students are comfortable and their anxiety levels are low so that they're able to learn and enjoy learning.
Yeah, and I definitely felt the anxiety even as a teacher, and that was one of the
But we
concepts
couldn't
I was
tell.
taught to.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally.
yeah, so also in that same week, we also learned that one of the things that is also important is that the teacher doesn't feel anxious as well, because when the teacher feels anxious, the students will also likely feel anxious, and it will just add on to it. So I try to be serious. It's hard though.
Yes, you were a natural though. You did fantastic. We
No, it was great. I feel like I definitely learned like some sentence structures just doing this lesson. Like really.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I believe that's it, right? We
Yeah,
talked
I think we're
about our direct approach, and we talked about anxiety, and we talked about implicit corrections and explicit corrections, which I believe we did do in this lesson.
Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
All right. Do you guys just want to talk about like the lesson plan real quick, or just real
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this lesson plan, we started off with an introduction, and we talked about what the kids are going to be learning today, which in this case it was about family and making a family tree. To make things quick, we skipped through the video, and pretended we watched it, and then we made our own quick little models of the family tree, and then quickly showed it just as a reference. In an actual class setting, this would probably take around 40 minutes. Is there anything else that I missed, guys?
I don't believe so.
No,
Do we
I
want
think
to touch
that
on
was good.
standards?
Standards.
Oh yeah.
So in the standards, I chose a World Languages Communication 5.N, which is demonstrating understanding of words, phrases, and simple sentences on very familiar common daily topics. So I chose this one in particular because one, this is a common daily topic. I feel that there many times you're gonna introduce family members to new people. So I feel like with the use of a family tree, we're able to basically do that. And then the next one is Communications 3.N of World Languages, which is to present information in culturally appropriate ways on very familiar common daily topics using memorized words, phrases, and simple sentences through spoken, written, or sign language. So in this one, we're kind of we're talking about daily topics, and again, I feel like introducing your family and talking about your family is something that might be a common occurrence, especially if you know a lot of people and family parties, for example, parties. There's always someone you don't recognize, and then
Mhm.
you gotta introduce them. And then I also added the History and Social Sciences Standard 2.1.1, which is about tracing the history of your family through the use of primary and secondary sources. In this case, we did that by making a family tree. And, I also added visual art standard in creating number 10, which is create works of art about events in home, school, or the community life, which again, making a family tree fits that standard. Adding standards from different, how would I say it, from different subjects might sound a bit counterintuitive, but by doing this, you kill two birds with one stone, and just adds a little bit more to your lesson. Anything else, guys?
No, it was very nicely put.